So River had some news today. Pretty cool. River posted this about an hour ago this morning, said, give yourself the biggest raise of your life. Get paid in Bitcoin with direct deposit on River. So think about that one. Get paid in Bitcoin with direct deposit on River. So this kind of goes along in line with one of the themes around here is when people are thinking about earning Bitcoin or spending their Bitcoin or whatever it is, I think that they really overthink it because everybody wants to get paid in Bitcoin. Everybody's looking for jobs to get paid in Bitcoin. But if you use something like River or Bitcoin Well, I believe Strike has this as well, this feature. You can just take your salary, whoever's paying you, and you can set up a direct deposit into River, Bitcoin Well, Strike, whichever one of these you're using. And you can essentially get paid in Bitcoin. It's the exact same premise as like when people are worried about spending their Bitcoin. All you're doing when you buy something is sending somebody else value. All you're doing when you buy something from somebody else is you're sending them value. It does not matter how you send them that value. It could be in fiat, it could be in Bitcoin, it could be in Beanie Babies, it could be in rocks, could be in any country currency, anything. You're just sending them value. That's it. And it's the same with getting paid. You don't need to work for a Bitcoin company. You don't need to find people that are willing to pay you in Bitcoin. You just need to have technology that works for you. And so with something like this with River, you can essentially get paid in Bitcoin because your direct deposit, if you set up with River or again, Bitcoin Well, Strike, whoever offers this feature, you can get paid in Bitcoin because somebody else is just sending you value. It does not matter how you spend Bitcoin. It does not matter how you spend value. It does not matter how you earn value. The only thing that matters really in what we're talking about here with all this stuff is how you store that value. Because you got to pay for things. You're going to get paid. It doesn't matter how that happens. The only thing that you should be concerned with, and the only thing I would say is important in this whole equation, is how you're storing that value. And of course, there's different things I would say in terms of getting paid in Bitcoin. Like if you're doing it kind of under the table, you're working for somebody who's paying you in Bitcoin, that's a little bit different because this is all KYC Bitcoin. It's not as good, but I think you'd be pretty hard pressed to find somebody who's willing to pay you under the table in Bitcoin. But you never know. But the point is you can set something up like this using River and essentially just get paid in Bitcoin. So you can see the difference here of somebody who had their paycheck deposited into a bank account and their paycheck deposited into a Bitcoin exchange like River. And you can see the difference here after 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. And what do you think this will look like after 10 years? You see the gap just keeps widening. So in other words, you should do something like this today because soon this is going to turn into 6, then 7, and it's just going to keep widening. So it's the same with everything here, everything we're talking about. The key is to compound it. The key is to take action. The key is to do things consistently, which means you don't want to set this up in a couple of years when you finally come to your senses. You want to do this today. Even if it's going to take you a couple hours to get set up and figure out, I don't think it would. But even if it did, it's worth it because the longer you do this kind of stuff, the more it adds up over the long term. So I'll share the link to River here for anybody. I'll also put it in the show notes after. But yeah, check out River. I love me some River. They're probably my number one recommendation for people, especially in the US. Obviously, here in Canada, we can't use them. I've used their website and stuff before, but I've never used their app. But I've only heard good things about River. So that's the easiest way to get paid in Bitcoin. Just get direct deposit, and you really have to change your mindset about that, about sending and receiving value. It doesn't matter what the form is for it. Sending and receiving value. The only thing that matters is how to store that value, and you want to store it in Bitcoin. So with this, it makes it pretty easy. You don't have to convert it after. You don't have to. You can automate it. The less you have to think about in your life, I would say, the better. Okay. What else do we have here? Oh, I didn't even see this. You also enter for a 25K in Bitcoin giveaway. So you can set up the direct deposit in a few minutes and choose how much of your paycheck you want to convert. Oh, that's cool. 0 fees. So you don't have to put like 100% of your paycheck in there either. That's really cool. I didn't even know that. I just assumed you have to put the full chunk in there. And you can also do get entered to their 25K Bitcoin giveaway.